Before I dive in, I want to give you context on how I do my readings. My readings are completely channeled, but I do use some tools sometimes. Today, I'm going to use oracle cards, and they act as a tool for me to receive the message that wants to come through for me. So I look at the artwork of the card, I look at the name of the card, and then a message gets activated within me that wants to come through. So whatever I'm reading of that card has nothing to do with the actual booklet of the card. It's just a tool for me to get to the channeled information that wants to come through at this time. Because this is a collective reading, not every single message may resonate with you, but be open to receive whatever message wants to come through. Energetically, I want to tap into the collective of my community. So whether you've been following my journey and my work for a while, or you're just stumbling across this channel for the very first time, be sure to know that this is not a coincidence and that a message is waiting for you. Nothing in this universe happens by accident, and you didn't stumble across this video by accident. Whether you're listening to this in February 2025 or you come across this any later, the message is still relevant for you at the time when you find this video. Let's dive right in. I'm going to shuffle the cards now and lay them out in front of me, and then we're going to start with the reading. The very first card is called Aurora Garden. Beginning, initiate, origin are the words that are connected to this card. What is coming through is that a lot of people who are tapped in, a lot of spiritual people, are waiting for this big shift, this big noticeable shift. And it's almost the feeling that time is passing so quickly because we are in our minds a lot. We are waiting for something to happen on a collective level. This is a very collective message. It's not a personal one. It's a very collective message. What is coming through is that we should focus on building what we want to see in the world. So rather than waiting for something to shift or waiting for this one big moment that changes everything for the better, the message that's coming through is that we should empower ourselves to be the shift rather than to wait for the shift. So in a tangible way, that looks like finding your place in this new earth energy that we can grasp, but that has not fully manifested yet, that has not fully embodied itself yet. So for you on a personal level, what does that mean for you? What do you need to step into to bring more new earth energy to the world? Does it mean stepping into your mission? Does it mean starting a business that is very aligned with the values that you want to bring into the world? Does it mean doing something in your immediate surroundings, like being there for people, creating community? Does it mean creating community online? It can be 1,000 things, like so many things are coming through right now as a possibility. And what also is coming through very strongly is that you need to let go of the things that don't feel aligned anymore, that don't feel aligned with that higher timeline that you are waiting for to manifest. Another message is coming through about this, and the message is that we should not fall into the trap of waiting for someone else to do it or waiting for a big event. And that also comes with a warning that there are a lot of false teachers active in our spiritual community who constantly build the desire or build the anticipation for something big to shift. And it's coming through clearly that it is not impossible that things are shifting in a major way, in a major positive way, but it's very unlikely that it is going to be a shift that is noticeably fast. Like, it's not going to go overnight. It's not going to be a one aha moment where everyone is aware that it is happening. It's more like an inside job, and getting goosebumps right now because I feel all the light workers, like so many light workers who have chosen to incarnate at this time to be the bringers of that light, to be the bringers of that new earth. And if we are in a position of waiting, in a position of anticipation for something big to shift, we are in a trap. We fall into the trap of waiting rather than doing, While what we should be doing is to create this new earth, to create this new timeline, as we are still witnessing all the old stuff, all the old system stuff being present in the world, because it's not going to go away overnight. It's going to be a transition. It's going to be a transition that is different for people. I'm getting the information that a lot of people are completely unaware of this energy shift. And those who are tapped in, they are very aware that it is happening, but they need to step into their own power. They need to stop waiting for something in the outside to shift, because the shift can only be brought and birthed into this world through them. That is the main message. The origin is you, is what I'm hearing. The origin is you taking action. You are the shift. You are the change. You are the system that is being changed from the inside out. It's not going to happen externally. It's happening internally. And all these light workers are on earth right now. And all the people who are still awakening, who are at the beginning of their awakening, they are here. Because everybody, every single one needs to realize this, that everybody has to play their little part in this bigger shift. The next card is called The Secret of Camelot, the Authority of Spirit. And this fits perfectly to the message I just channeled. It's just a confirmation of the authority of spirit. The authority of spirit means that not the physical world or any authorities in our 3D world have the true power. The true power is within us, is within the people who have access to higher consciousness, who have access to the quantum field, who have access to their cosmic selves, because none of that can be disrupted from an outside force. None of that can be tainted in a way that would make us question. If our sense of self and our connection to our multidimensional parts is strong, outside forces, outside authority has no power over us whatsoever. And the more people start stepping into their own soul authority, into their own sovereignty, the more powerful we become. And what is also coming through is that we will see a lot of chaos in the world, and that people are so tired of these lifetime events that keep happening for like the last few years. And what is coming through strongly is that we should not fall into a victim mindset, not fall into a mindset of it's not happening, the world isn't changing, the world isn't shifting into a higher vibration, because it is coming through very strongly that the chaos and the destruction and the distortion of our communities and our society, it almost feels like I see a visual of like a dragon in chains fighting its last fight, like fighting for its life and being really aggressive, being really violent, and bearing itself in a very violent position. And that is the energy I'm getting, like this last try, this last desperate violent outburst of the darkness that is happening, and that is causing chaos, and that is causing disruption. And we should not be misled by that and think that things aren't shifting, because they are shifting. It's almost like I'm getting another visual, a parasite that is being treated with some remedy that flushes out the parasite. And this parasite is wiggling and fighting and releasing stuff from its body just to like out of desperation. And this causes more destruction in the body and more intoxication of the body. And that is the effect that we are seeing right now. Like, it's like a purge, but not a purge in the sense of that the darkness has authority in any way. It's like a survival fight. It's fighting for its survival. And as light workers and as conscious people, we need to observe that and be in a neutral position as long as it doesn't affect us personally. And what is really important, what is coming through as our task in these chaotic phases and whatever is happening in the outside world, as long as we're not personally affected, the only powerful thing we can do is to keep up the frequency, raise your own vibration, do high vibrational stuff, listen to high vibrational music, listen to chanting, to mantras, to all the things that keep you in a high vibration. Also, not just as a saying like I like to vibe high, but in a like frequency based way. Listen to high frequency music is coming through so strongly. Don't listen to chart music, don't listen to any negative podcast, don't listen to true crime. Listen to high vibrational soul healing music and sounds. That is coming through so strongly. You really can't make this up. The next card is called The Gathering, Community, Kinship, and Companionship. It fits perfectly to the messages that were already coming through. So what is important is to create a sense of community. Whether you do that online over social media, whether you do that in your personal surroundings, whether you do that within your family and friend group, community is important. Exchange with your loved ones, exchange with other people, have deep conversations, let go of superficial connections, let go of toxic connections, let go of people who don't want to go deep with you. That is coming through as a strong thing. And give people, that's also coming through, give people the opportunity to dive deep. A lot of people in this world crave deep connection, but they don't have the person around them or the people around them that would trigger that within them, that would open up that portal for them to dive deeper. So if you can be that person, start deep conversations with your acquaintances. Start deep conversations with people you wouldn't necessarily expect to go deep with you. Give them the opportunity, give them space to dive deep, to explore themselves, to be vulnerable. And even if they are hesitant in allowing that to happen, in allowing to go deep, just give them the opportunity. Be an example. Talk about deep stuff in your own life. Talk about vulnerable things. Share. Be open. Open your heart. Drop from the mind into your heart. Do that with people that are not super close to you. Do that with people who you feel are ready to open up, and let go of those who fight against it, who are not ready to go deep, who are maybe a little bit toxic, or who are on a very different journey from you, who have a very different level of consciousness than you. Not because these are bad people, but because they are on a different journey, they are on a different path, they are feeding a different timeline than you. So it's important for you to create community, to create a strong energy field of people who are similar to you, so that you can, through your interactions, through your conversations, through building a small community or a big community, you can help shift into a higher timeline, into a higher frequency. All of this community focused stuff, all of the messages that are coming through, the purpose of that is to create a strong energetic field that then helps feed that better timeline, feed that high vibrational timeline for this specific community. And the more communities who are open and conscious and vulnerable and go deep we have, the more powerful this force field becomes. I'm getting the visual of, it used to be, oh my god, so much is happening at once. So the visual is like a network of light workers, and every dot in that network is a single person, like a single light worker. And a lot of these light workers are already expressing themselves. They have online businesses, they offer sessions, they offer coaching, they have YouTube channels, they have podcasts, they share their wisdom in many different ways. They have in-person healing sessions, they have all these things, retreats, all of that. They have all that, but it's mostly based on one single person. It's a one person brand kind of thing. And the next step in our evolution as light workers would be to come together in smaller communities and build a new, more powerful grid by working together, by replacing the single dots of single people in this network with a group of people. So every dot in this network is a little group of people having the same vision, having the same goals, the same felt purpose. And that will make the field of light workers and make the frequency on Earth so much stronger. So that is the main message. Come together with other people, give other people the opportunity to dive deeper and to basically offer them to come to that higher timeline with you and open up about themselves, open up their heart, and just give them the opportunity to see what's possible, because a lot of people are so isolated and they don't have that sense of community. They're simply not used to it, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't like to dive deep and be vulnerable and be open-hearted. I literally can't. The next card is called the Tree of Souls. Collective Wisdom, Kinship Group, Library. It's coming through immediately. It's all about the energy that we need to create on Earth, the energy that needs to be stronger. And when so many light workers come together, when people connect with each other, when we are open-hearted with each other, when we are vulnerable, when we share and we go deep, there is a library of wisdom coming together energetically. So every single person, every single light worker has their own life, obviously, and has their own challenges, their own lessons, their own hardships, their own successes. And all that is stored in our core energy. So when we connect and when we exchange and do things together and communicate with each other in many different ways, energetically this wisdom is exchanging with each other. We are bringing all the wisdom together into a library of energies, of frequencies that are also helping the world to shift into a higher timeline. And what is coming through, because I said it that way, what is coming through strongly from my cosmic self right now is that I should clarify. Not the entirety of humanity is going to shift into a higher timeline. It is a personal journey. So whether the outside world is chaotic or not, it doesn't prevent you from switching to a higher timeline. It doesn't prevent you if there's chaos in the world, if there's still darkness in the world. Because it's quite impossible for the entire world, the entire collective, to awaken and to tap into higher consciousness in a way that would allow us to shift as a collective. So there will be different experiences that are happening at the same time, and it's already happening. The concept of timelines, and this is also coming through as something I should share now, the concept of timelines is nothing new. It's happening all the time. You have a very different experience in life and a very different standard in life than a person in a third world country. This is also a timeline thing. You could technically go there and meet up with this person that is living in this third world country. But naturally, it's unlikely that you guys will ever meet in a natural way that is not purposefully orchestrated. And in a similar way, our timelines will be different collectively. So some people will be on a higher timeline, others will be on a lower timeline. And naturally, we don't meet each other. We don't have any perception of the other timeline. And what is also coming through, and what is coming through as a thing I should share, because we're all humans and we all have these fears. Families and friends are not going to be gone because they end up on a different timeline. It's not how it works. Your friends, your loved ones are already on the same timeline as you are, because they are your closest group of people. Even in the same timeline, there is still such a huge spectrum of positive to negative that everyone around you is basically shifting with you, because timelines are always a thing. Timelines have always been a thing. But now we are at this time in our human evolution or soul evolution as humans that we will see a more drastic change, a more drastic shift into different timelines. And the differences will be bigger, but none of your loved ones will vanish or be raptured or anything like that as we are moving into another timeline. This is not the case. This is a fear-based concept. This is a concept that is being spread to harvest energy, and it is something that you should not put your energy into. Don't be afraid of the timeline shift. These fear-based concepts that you may hear are here to prevent you from feeding that higher timeline because you are scared to lose your loved ones if you vibe too high. This is a fear-mongering, energy harvesting agenda. The final card I'm going to pull for today, and the final message I'm going to channel, Skyfire. Messages, channels, information. It's coming through immediately. Listen to your intuition, open your channels, trust the information that you directly receive from your cosmic self. Don't listen to the news, don't listen to the outside world, don't listen to other people who are in fear. Listen to what you feel deep inside. My cosmic self wants me to make an example so that you can understand. The example is that there's a lot of fear in the world, and you may pick up that fear and you may experience it, and you may worry and have thoughts in your head, in your mind, that are negative, that are bugging you, that keep coming up. But most likely, there is underneath all that mind chatter and all that fear and all that anxiety, there is a deeper layer that believes and feels that everything will be fine. And if you feel that, if you have this feeling of everything's gonna be fine buried deep within you, do everything you can to bring that feeling more to the surface. You may doubt it, you may feel like you're just telling yourself everything's gonna be fine or something positive is coming out of the chaos in the world. But what is really happening is that it's so deeply buried within, and a lot of layers of fear and anxiety are covering it. But this is your intuition, this is your true wisdom from within. And your intuition is one of the direct languages that you can speak with your cosmic self, with your higher dimensional aspects. So your cosmic self that already knows that everything is going to be fine, and you have to be positive, and we have to bring more positive energy into the world, it's telling you nonstop, everything's gonna be fine, be positive, raise your vibration, don't be dragged down, hold the vision, hold the frequency high. It's constantly telling you that and communicating that through your intuition, but it may be hard for you to pick up on that. So whenever this glimmer of hope comes up, or whenever you feel this energy in you that is positive, that is waiting for something good to happen, that is ready for a higher timeline, don't doubt it. Embrace it. Nourish it. Do everything you can to make that voice louder and to feel that more. To feel that more under all these layers of anxiety and fear. I really hope this channeled reading resonated with you. It was far more collective than I anticipated or than I expected, and I hope you found some personal messages as well, and you can make sense of the channeled information and the messages that wanted to come through. The energy was very powerful. I didn't really have to think about anything or how to say anything. It just was flowing through, so I didn't even think about it, and it just came through. That was a really powerful reading. If you like readings like this, I do them often, not every month, but basically every month. And I also have a lot of other valuable videos on this YouTube channel. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what message resonated the most out of all of these. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done that already to not miss any videos. You can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. It's at Isabelle Gloria. Everything is linked in the description. Let me know what message resonated the most, and see you next week for a brand new video.